Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a review and tutorial on the Dyson Complete Airwrap system. So I specifically wanted to focus on curling hair because that is probably the single most asked for video by you guys. Like everybody always asks like, what tools do you use in your hair? How do you get it to last? All of that. So I wanted to go through my methodology with Dyson, what I do, how I do it, and products that I put into my hair to help. So this is day 3 hair with the Dyson. It was very well curled for day 1 and day 2, but there are 2 things about this. It has become this straight, one, because of extreme heat in Atlanta and I've been outside and sweating, so like my hair is feeling like weighed down, and 2, my hair is extremely long now. It's time for a haircut, and so it's just getting weighed down. But I wanted to point that out. The style that I'm showing you though is not this, because I filmed this a few days prior to filming the intro. So if you guys are interested in learning all about this Dyson system and is it worth it, is it not, we're gonna get all into that. So if you are interested, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and start talking about it. This is the Dyson Airwrap. There is no attachment on it right now. When Dyson came out with this, they had a few different kits with different attachments, and now I believe it is just one, and it is called the Complete Styler. And in this kit, you will always get curling barrels, you will get a smoothing brush, you will also get that round brush that people will use on you at a salon, and I believe that is it, but I'm not showing you any of those other things just because I'm focusing on this. So what I really loved about the Dyson that I was very intrigued by is that they promise that there is no extreme heat used. And as we all know, heat is the devil with hair, and it can really fry your hair. It is so bad for you, and heat coupled with metal on your hair is just bad. So Dyson does not use metal. All of this stuff is plastic, and they use something called the Coanda method, which is the method of airflow around these barrels. The whole product is designed with air as opposed to heat against metal. And so this is more of like a blow dry when you go to a salon. You know how they have like a blow dryer here, and they'll take a comb and they'll move their arms in certain motions to give you guys certain types of hair. So that is the idea behind this product. And so if you look at this, you will notice arrows, and that is the direction of the airflow. And what happens is that there's air coming through each of these pink slots, and it basically pulls your hair into this area around it. That is what the air does. And then once your hair coils around it, it's sitting there with heat, and it basically ends up setting your hair into, a curl. And so I'm obsessed with this product. I will say there is a little bit of a learning curve. You have to feel comfortable with it for a few reasons. One, this is very large and very heavy. It is extremely loud. It is like louder than a hairdryer in my opinion, which is a little bit annoying. So you can't like listen to music or watch a video or whatever like when you're getting ready. But outside of that, I feel like it's less damaging to my hair, which is a huge win. The concept behind this product is to start with your hair dry, like from the shower, and style it into whatever you want, so it goes from wet to dry. This, takes away a step because you're not really blow drying your hair. That being said, with a normal curling iron, if my hair is dry, it takes me about 15 minutes to do my whole head. It's quick and it's easy. With the Dyson, I can take between 35 to 45 minutes from start to finish. So it is a longer process, in my opinion, even though you are cutting out a step, because I usually have many steps with my hair, and I will towel dry my hair, then I will like wait for a little bit, then I'll blow dry it, and like a few hours later, I'll do my hair if I'm like going somewhere, especially because of COVID. So with the Dyson, you're kind of a little strapped in that sense, because if you plan on using this, you kind of have to plan for it to be when you come out of the shower. So you have to have that longer time period right then and there. That being said, it is an awesome product. It is $549, which I know is astronomical, you guys, but it is a very unique technology, and to me, it gives me salon hair. So even right now, even though it has fallen out after these few days, there's a smoothness and a shine to my hair that I can't get myself when I just use a curling iron. Between blow drying it separately and curling it with a different product, I'm just not able to get that like effortless look. Like my hair just falls differently and better when I use this product. And my husband always tells me, like, I used to have a Dry Bar membership for 5 years, and I was religious about going there. I would go there because they were so good at my hair. And my husband always says that the way that I do my hair with the Dyson is better than what I would get at Dry Bar. And that's a huge compliment for somebody who just isn't very good at hair. So I will show you guys how I use it, starting with wet hair right out of the shower. So I'm gonna start by showing you guys like from my wet hair, every single step that I do. So I come out of the shower and I put my hair up in one of these like little terry cloth towels. It just really helps to air dry it a little bit. I want to try to be as conscientious about heat as possible because we all know that heat is not very good for you. So that is the reason. Otherwise, you can obviously start right from the second you get out of the shower, but I like to give this about 20-30 minutes to air dry. So now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and take this down. And here is my towel dried hair. So next up, what I'm gonna do is put in a root booster. I have been using this for at least 10 years. It is my Catwalk by TG Root Boost. And I put this into various areas of my roots. And I like to just quickly rub it in. It's meant to really give you volume at your roots, and there's a huge difference for me when I don't use this versus when I do. That's my only issue with if I air dry my hair completely, then I don't use these products because it does need heat to activate, and then in which case my hair is just like very limp. So that's my first thing. Then I go on with Moroccan oil. I take about that much, 2 pumps, and I go on right from like the nape of my neck, so like right here. And I rub it in. This is just to really help your hair stay healthy. It's so good for you. I had dyed my hair when I was 17 and only the one time, and my hair got so fried and I really needed something to like revive it, and this was that product. So I've been literally using this for probably about 12 years now. Again, for thickening, this is the Aveda Thickening Tonic. I've been using this for many years as well. I just spray this all over my hair. I try to keep it away from the roots and just try to get it around the body of the hair. And this just helps with giving you a thicker, fuller look. And this product is like magical. I truly just absolutely love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to blow dry my hair. This is the rough dry piece of the set. And it is not meant to be a blow dryer. It's meant to just help you get a little bit of a rough dry before you start curling. So I like to put this on the highest setting, the highest in terms of how much air is coming out, and the heat setting as well. And there is this bottom part that you can hit upward all the way to the top blue part, which gives you cold air instead. So a lot of people like to blow dry with cold air, which is really good for you. So if you have the time and you're patient enough, that would be a really good thing to do. Like I always tell people who are losing hair, who are having issue with hair concerns, really trying to blow dry your hair in cold air is the best way to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start concentrating this in my roots. The reason for that is when you start to curl it, if you have like that really wet root, while the this curling wand can get up there, it will just burn your scalp. So instead of doing that, I like to just really get it a little bit dry. You don't want it to be like dripping wet because it will just take a lot longer to curl your hair. Okay, so here is my hair. I have gotten the roots quite dry, not all the way, and I have left like the body of my hair pretty much, I mean, I've dried it a little bit, but not that much. The trick here is that you need to get your hair a little bit dry, but you do not want it to be fully dry, because the more dry it is, when you go in with a curling attachment and you start to curl with hair that is already dry, it is less likely to last. That is a huge trick with this product. I have noticed time and time again, you do need to have your hair as wet as possible in this area. Just like if you would when you actually go get a blow dry. When they style dry hair, you're gonna use like an iron. And this is not an iron, it is just air technology. So it needs that wetness to help mold your hair, because that is what gets it to stay. So now what I'm gonna do, I've got my hair products in it. That is another reason for why I have to blow dry it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just brush it out. I'm probably gonna do this off camera a little bit just because my hair is very tangly and I have to like really take my time with it. Okay, so I have gone ahead and detangled my hair, and brushed it out. And now, as you guys can see, this front part is already getting dry. One thing that I would recommend at this point, if you feel like your hair is getting very, very dry, then get a spray bottle filled with water and just start to spray it before you get to that part in your hair. Now we're gonna go ahead with the curling attachment. So first, we're gonna go ahead and remove this head right here. So the original curling attachments are these ones. So what I like to do is when I'm on whichever side of my head, I hold this up and we'll look to see what side it's curling into. And so this side, or this wand, this attachment I should say, needs to be used on this side because I want the curls to go upward. That means when I get to this side of my hair, I'm gonna have to flip it over and use this one instead. So these are, I think, about 4 inches. I'm gonna find it and put it up here. This is the original one. This is very short for my very long hair, if you guys can see how long my hair is, because as you can imagine, your hair needs to all fit into this, and whatever hair is wrapped on top of existing hair is gonna get less heat and less air, and as a result, it's not gonna really curl very well. So Dyson was very smart and released these longer barrels, which, look at the difference. This is like 6 or 7 inches, and this has been a lifesaver. I can still manage to make it work with this, but if you have longer hair, I would highly recommend going for this one. So I'm gonna start on the left side of my hair. This is the wrong barrel. This is the correct one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here, lock it into place, and this is a very long tool. As you guys can see, it's a big boy right here. Next, what I would say is to go ahead and section off your hair according to the way that you normally style it, because you want to curl in that direction as well. So I always section off my hair generally a little bit off center. So I'm just trying to find that. And then for the back, I'm gonna just go in and make my hair half. So I am just gonna go ahead and just tie this part up. So that is tied up, whatever, it looks kind of crazy. And what I'm gonna show you is that with this hair tool, you need to not overwhelm it with too much hair. And by too much hair, I don't mean the length, I mean the width of it. Like, don't go in with like a huge section like this. So what I like to do is my hair is very layered, and I like to start with the topmost layer so that every curl looks uniform. If you try to get a full section like this, when you have such short pieces of hair here, you will notice that it starts to look kind of crazy. And so what I like to do is just go in for the topmost section, and I'm going to start with about this much. So you are going to hold your wand up like so, and I like to hold it up when I'm doing it. A lot of people have shown methods on YouTube and stuff to do it downward, but I don't like that look. If you guys do, that's completely personal preference. But I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to voice it over because this is so freaking loud. So I will be talking you guys through how I do this. So you're gonna take your strand of hair, kind of hold it closer to the root so it kind of lays limp, and then you'll notice that your Dyson will immediately start to be attracted to the barrel, and whatever direction it wants to pull, that's the correct one. And then you are going to just roll it upward, and you'll notice here that this barrel being so long is why it works on my hair. Imagine if my hair were even longer and it wouldn't fit on this barrel. Then I'm holding it up towards my scalp, and if you notice, I'm still giving it a little bit of tension and pulling it upward, because that's what's going to give your root a little bit of a lift. If you hold it downward, that is the way in which it's going to set. Then I've gone ahead and pushed the cool button to give it some direct cool heat for about 10 seconds. Then I'm going to go ahead, section out my hair again, get my second section going. This part where you're trying to just get it onto the barrel is the most important one. And if you don't get it right the first time, just keep trying. Like here, you'll notice that I have extra hair that's hanging off on the bottom. It didn't, really get onto the barrel properly. So I've unraveled my hair, and again, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get it on the correct way. And then I like to keep pulling it, tightening it above the root. It's kind of like that hairstylist motion when they are giving you a blowout. And again, just keep trying to go upward as much as you can to get that lift. And then once you're ready and you feel like your hair is, not wet anymore, you can keep testing it with your fingers like I'm doing here. Then you give it a cool shot and let it go. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my third section of hair. As you can see, I'm still up top as close to my parting as possible because I want to get the same length of hair. And I'm just pulling, tugging, checking. It's just it'll come naturally to you once you start to use it. And then I'm going to go ahead and section this off. Then I like to go ahead and pin each layer back so that way it makes room for this next layer. I try to keep it as straight as possible to get the correct layers, but obviously it's not always possible. Then now I'm on to my next one. Now I'm on to the second layer of my hair. Again, I'm working with this long barrel, holding it upward and straight as much as possible. Here you can see I have my head covered because this was pretty direct heat to like my forehead area, which can get pretty uncomfortable very quick. But you'll notice that, you know, to get the hair onto the barrel does take a little while, and that's probably the most complicated part of this whole system. So I just finished the left side. I haven't even touched it. I literally like did the last piece and then just came out here to show you. But as you guys can see, there's like a smoothness to the hair, which does not happen with a curling iron. And each piece is just so beautifully done. There's a little bit of texture. And now what I would suggest at this point is, since we still have this side left to do, I would just sort of tie this back, and don't tussle your fingers through it or do anything to it yet, because you want it to retain as much of the curl as possible before it starts to loosen up by itself and before we like really get into it when we're like actually finishing up the hairstyle. Okay, so now on this side, I went ahead and wet it a little bit more because it was getting dry, and as I talked about before, we kind of need that. And now we're gonna go ahead and switch out the attachment to the other side. And we're gonna repeat the same thing. The motion is the exact same, the idea is the exact same. I'm again going only in sections of the topmost layers of my hair as much as possible. So I'm starting out here the exact same way, and you'll kind of notice that the motion is the same, but you're always more comfortable on one side. For me, that is my right-hand side, which is this side that I'm doing right now. Again, the most important thing is to keep checking your hair to make sure it is cool before you set it with the cool shot and move on to your next section. If you are letting go of hair that is still wet, then you're not really setting your hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other parts of the hair, and then I'm gonna do the rest of my hair off camera, and I'll be back to show you guys the finished look. So I have finished curling the side of my hair, and I've taken it down. I haven't touched it again. So you can see here from where I tied it up, all the curls have kind of come together. But now this is the important part, because you want your hair to come alive and to look like ba-va-boom. So we are gonna just run our hands through our hair. If you kind of messed up your parting, you can go back and part the way that you want to and see like where your curls lie. And this is what my hair looks like, you guys. I don't have any hairspray in it. I have put nothing in it other than what you have seen. So I would just suggest if your hair is falling out at this point, you put in your hairspray or your texturizer or whatever products you want to help it. Another thing that you can do is that as you do each strand, you can go ahead and pin it back up, which always helps. And then before you run your hands through it, at that point, put in hairspray or texturizer. But I mean, I just love it. I just feel like it is so beautiful. It is exactly like what I get when I go to dry bar. So this has really alleviated my need to have to go out and get my hair done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did like this video, don't forget to give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, post down below and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Bye.